Hey, I'm Chris Burgess with Premier Guitar. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, Summer NAMM, and we're hanging out at Cole Clark, and we're talking to Jamie Gale. You've read the review of the Fat Lady 1AC in the July issue Premier Guitar. Jamie's going to show us a couple of variations on the Fat Lady model.
Right. Thanks, Chris. The first thing I'd like to show you here would be the FL1 series, which is what you actually reviewed in the 1AC. Okay. All the guitars come in three basic models. We have the straight one. Then we have a 1A, which A stands for amplified, and C stands for cutaways. The FL1AC that you reviewed is this guitar amplified with a cutaway. Okay. A couple of unique things about Cole Clark is that we only build professional level instruments at reasonable price points. All of them are built with solid tone woods. We choose to feature Australian tone woods primarily that are renewable, sustainable wood sources. This guitar here happens to feature a bunya top and a Tasmanian blackwood back and sides. Now, when we go from the 1 series to the 2 series, all we've done is change it really aesthetically. We've added snowflake inlays. Blocks are also an option. And on the back, we've added binding, sometimes a 3-piece, sometimes a 2-piece. Okay, binding here as well. Really, the changes are aesthetics. This particular one here has an optional high gloss finish. All of our finishes are nitrocellulose, including our satin finishes. Okay. Then from the 2 series, we go into the 3 series, which is really our presentation model. And as you can see, most of it is obvious when you look at it. We add a whole lot of abalone shell. We'd add additional maple binding, a high contrasting headstock fascia, gold imperial tuners, nice abalone touches on the waist here, and we switch from rosewood to ebony on the board and bridge. Now, this guitar here also is optioned in rosewood at no additional charge, but frankly, the Australian woods are where most of our sales are. We just like to show it for people who insist on having something traditional. You know? I want to point out also that's the FL series, but we also do a grand concert guitar, which is one of the newer additions to our line, and that is the Angel. And the Angel is available currently only in the 2AC model. Okay, so just like the Dreadnought, it is bound with snowflake inlays. This one happens to have, again, a high contrasting facade on it. Okay, a couple of neat features about the Angel is that with our construction, we brace it a little differently. If you look in the back there, we use a lattice bracing. I'm not sure if you can see that on your camera. This voices the Angel for a little more bass and volume. Okay, really beautiful sounding guitar. Another interesting feature about the Angel is in order to achieve proper balance, which is often an issue in a concert size like this, we actually hollow the headstock. So you can't see that, but it's there. Because we do have the Grover tuners on here, which sometimes are a little weighty for some guitars, but with the hollowed headstock, it balances out very nicely.
Very cool. I understand you got some models, so you can show us a few elements of the construction of the guitar.
Absolutely. A couple of the unique things about Cole Clark guitars. First of all, we build our guitars differently than any other steel string maker currently on the planet that I'm aware of. And what we do is we start with something from the classical construction with an integral neck joint. And what that means is we don't build a box and then apply it with a dovetail or a bolt-on like the ones you're used to seeing on the market today. We actually start with a neck, route out channels down the side of the neck, build the sides into the neck first. And that creates the structure of the whole guitar. We then apply the top and the back to it. Very simply, we take a bunya top like so, and there are positioning pins. It's much smoother in the factory with a jig. Okay, and that goes on the sides. Everything fits together very nicely. Now I'd like to point out on the back of this top here, you'll see that we actually start with our tops a little thicker than most guitar builders would, and we carve away what we don't want. Okay, we route out channels for the bracing, so the bracing actually sits into the wood and is less likely to shift over time. You'll also notice that we do a precision router on the outside edges here. That's actually our gluing surface, sits inside the sides of the guitar. And when you look inside of a guitar when it's fully built, you'll notice there's no additional purfling on the inside of this guitar. So it looks very clean, very formal on the inside, something like looking inside the violin would be. Now I'd like to point out that this bracing channel here is a little wider. Reason being is that one of the unique features of Cole Clark is our amplification system. One of our braces here is actually one of our pickups. Okay, so it's an aluminum brace, the rest are all wood. But what this does is by putting a brace into the structure of the guitar that we can use for amplification allows us to pick up all the subtle nuances across the entire face of the guitar. When amplified, God, I've been in about 300 music stores in the country in the last year, and so far we have to find anyone who has found a guitar that's more true and natural than the Cole Clark face brace system. To their opinions, maybe one day I'll find someone else and I won't be able to say that anymore. But to date, the most natural amplification system that's ever hit the market in a Cole Clark. Another unique feature about the Cole Clark top is the relief cut that we do in the outside edges here. Now, this is not a brand new idea to instrument making. This actually comes from any piano soundboard has a relief cut like this. It just allows the top to be a little more flexible and vibrate a little more. But it was initially a Cole Clark initiative, the first ones that I'm aware of to actually bring it to the guitar world. So it is an integral part of our sound.
So people want to know more about the Fat Lady, the Angel, any other variations. Where do they find you guys online?
ColeClark-America.com.
Very cool. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm Chris Burgess. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.